Oh yeah, in this video we're going to look at Clock-in Flow, which is a native Salesforce tool to manage shift management, workers clocking in and out, so you can create their shifts, track their time, all within Salesforce. And it's a really nice and simple, easy to use tool. So I'll show you some of the things that you can do here. Already I can kind of go to the main page here within Salesforce and see that we've got James Bond working today between 4 and 6. It's got this little kind of symbol because he's not clocked in yet, and then we've got Stephen working tomorrow, and we can see he's also not clocked in yet, obviously because it's tomorrow. And so as soon as they do clock in, you'll see this symbol, and then once they've clocked out, you'll see a green tick. So it's a really good overview to be able to track things and filter through different venues and different types of workers. And so the different venues, for example, might be on different time zones, like Australia compared to London in this example. So this application manages all of that and gives you this nice simple overview. If I wanted to create some new shifts through here, I got a kind of step-by-step tool. So let's say I want to create a new shift for James Bond for Sunday. We can put the times in 9 till 6. Maybe he works every Sunday. I could kind of create this as a recurring shift into a particular date. Like I said, we can tie it to a venue with a time zone if that's something that you needed. And so once I confirm that, we'll see instantly it pops in the calendar there. And so we've got another shift in there for James Bond. When James Bond goes to clock in, you can have a nice kind of clock in screen on like an iPad or something like that, and maybe it's on their mobile device to be able to clock in to say they're starting their shift. So his pin, James Bond, is 4321. We can click the clock in button, and you can see the shift is found. It tells you the start time. And if we were to refresh this, we can see the symbol turns into a little clock here to say they've clocked in, but they've not yet clocked out. When it gets to the end of the shift, they will clock out. And so I do that. It comes up with the clock out button. It tells you they've clocked out. And we can refresh this and we get this little tick. And so already I can kind of easily look at this page, see who's clocked in and out. And then if I wanted a more kind of detailed, in-depth overview of what's going on, we could have a look at this time entry section here. And this gives you kind of a more detailed overview of what they've actually done. So I can see that James Bond has worked 1 minute shift, and not even that actually, and they should have worked 2 hours, and so they've only worked part of their shift. And so this again gives me a nice overview to be able to really dig down into who's worked their shift, have they clocked in and out, but also have they worked full shift, part shift, all of their shift. The nice thing is this is all just information stored in Salesforce. So if you're already using Salesforce, you can use standard reporting, you can export this data, and it's very easy for you to just use this with your existing tools, and you could add your own fields and customize this if you wanted to. You can also link it to automation. For example, you might build a flow using standard Salesforce tools to trigger an email to you if someone hasn't worked their full shift, so you know you have to do some sort of adjustment to their pay, for example. And so these are the two kind of key screens for you to see that overview. I've got a list of my workers here, so I can create new workers and add them into the system, and the venues that I talked about, which are again linked to that time zone. And we kind of have a list of all the records that are being created as people are clocking in and clocking out. The great thing with this, like I said, is this is all linked. This is all standard Salesforce records and data. So you can have Salesforce dashboard, a Salesforce report, and you can use your normal tools and link it with other data in the system. So, maybe you want to look at when your volunteers are working, if you're in that sector, and link it to some other data that you have in Salesforce to tie in or make some predictions on that data. And so it's really, really useful, kind of opens up a world of possibilities because it's built on top of this platform. But again, the main thing is it's very nice and simple. If you do have any questions or you would like to give it a go, you can have a free trial. It can be installed into your Salesforce environment or your sandbox. You can give us some feedback, or if you like the tool, you can sign up and we'll be there to support you in the implementation.